There comes a moment in every person's life when the alarm doesn't just ring on the nightstand, it rings in the soul. A moment when something deep inside whispers, you're moving too slow, you're living too slow, you're living too soft, you're waking up but you're not rising. And if you're listening to this right now, that whisper has already turned into a voice. That voice is telling you that you were not built for a life of comfort, excuses, and missed opportunities. You were built for early mornings, heavy pressure, and discipline that scares the old version of you. You were built for grind mode. And whether you realize it or not, your future is sitting there waiting to see if you wake up like a champion or roll over like the same person you were yesterday. 'Cause let's be honest, you know you've been leaving potential on the table. You know there were days you could have pushed harder, moments you could have been stronger, chances you could have taken but did. And the craziest part, life didn't punish you for it. It just stayed silent. It let you repeat the same cycle, the same habits, the same mindset. But silence doesn't mean approval. It means life is watching to see when you finally get tired of being tired, when you finally decide that enough is enough, when you finally choose to wake up and grind with purpose instead of waking up and surviving with excuses. This message right here, this video right now, is not entertainment. It's confrontation. It's you facing the reality that if you don't change your mentality will change you. And the chains you put on yourself are always heavier than the ones the world gives you. A weak mindset will talk you out of opportunities you're qualified for. A lazy mentality will convince you that tomorrow is a better day to start. A fragile spirit will make you avoid the very discomfort designed to shape you into who you're meant to become. And the worst part is you'll think it's normal. You'll think it's just life, but it's not. It's you choosing the easy path because you forgot who you are. But today is different. Today it's different because something in you is waking up. A spark that refuses to die quietly. You're tired of watching others win. You're tired of clapping for someone else's success while your own gifts sit untouched. You're tired of being the version of yourself that knows what to do, but doesn't do it. And now that hunger is pushing you toward a new mindset, a stronger one, a more relentless one that wakes up before the world and refuses to settle for anything less than greatness. So if you're hearing this, understand, this is not the beginning of a speech. This is the beginning of a shift. This is the moment your old self starts panicking because it knows it's losing control. This is the moment your future self stands up and says, finally, what you do next will define everything. Your habits, your grind, your discipline, your destiny. Lock in and get ready because the grind won't wait, and neither should you. When you wake up in the morning, you are not just opening your eyes. You are opening the door to who you are becoming. Your mornings decide your future because your mornings set the standard for your entire day. If you wake up with purpose, the rest of your day follows that direction. If you wake up slow, lazy, confused, scrolling, reacting, then you spend your day fighting the chaos you created. The truth is simple. The strongest people in this world don't wait for motivation to show up. They created the moment their feet hit the ground. Your morning is the first battle of the day. And if you lose that by snoozing, by hesitating, by dragging yourself out of bed with no intention, then you have already surrendered before the day even begins. People don't understand how dangerous it is to wake up without a plan. The mind is weakest in the morning. It is empty, quiet, soft. And that's when most people allow weakness to take over. They let their comfort win. They let the bed pull them back in. They let the excuses whisper, just 5 more minutes. But 5 more minutes leads to 10. 10 leads to 20. And 20 leads to a life where you're always late, always behind, always chasing instead of leading. The world doesn't slow down because you woke up tired. Opportunities don't pause because your body didn't feel like moving. Life goes on without you, and every morning you waste is a morning someone else is using to get better, to get sharper, to get ahead of you. Your mornings reveal your discipline. They show whether you want growth or excuses. The moment that alarm rings, your character speaks. Are you the type who rises or the type who hides? Do you attack your day or do you let your day attack you? People talk about wanting to change their life, wanting success, wanting money, wanting respect, but you can't want those things if you can't even control the first 60 minutes of your day. Your morning routine is your first investment. It is the proof that you are serious about who you want to become. Champions aren't born during big moments. They are built in the silent hours when the rest of the world is still sleeping. When you wake up early, before the noise, before the distractions, before the doubts and fears of the world start speaking, you are giving yourself the chance to grow. You are giving yourself the gift of clarity. The morning is the cleanest mental space you will ever get. No pressure. No expectations, no negativity, just you and your goals. And most people waste that precious time scrolling, gossiping, lying in bed, or starting their day already stressed. But the ones who are hungry, the ones who wake up with fire in their chest, they use those hours to build discipline, to train their mind, to strengthen their identity. When you start strong, everything else becomes easier. When you start weak, everything becomes a battle. Imagine your dream life standing in front of you every morning, waiting to see what you're going to do, waiting to see if you will rise and chase it or sleep through your potential again. Every morning is a test. How bad do you actually want it? How serious are you with? How committed are you to the future you keep talking about? It's easy to say you want success at night when you're excited, when you're motivated, when you're imagining the results. But that excitement means nothing if you can't show up when it's dark, when it's cold, when you're tired, when nobody's watching, when nobody cares. The morning is where discipline lives and motivation dies. That's where you decide. Are you someone who acts or someone who talks? Your mornings decide your identity because the first decision of your day determines who you are becoming. If your first decision is strength, getting up immediately, moving with intention, focusing your mind, respecting your goals, then your mind learns to trust you. It learns that you do what you say. It learns that you are not controlled by emotion. That builds confidence. That builds power. But if your first decision is weakness, snoozing, delaying, dragging yourself, complaining, then your mind learns that you cannot rely on yourself. It learns that you break promises to your own future. It learns that you choose comfort over discipline, and that kills confidence. You think greatness happens in the afternoon? You think consistency builds at night? No, it begins the moment you wake up. That is where winners separate themselves. The grind starts before sunrise, because when you carry discipline into the rest of your day, distractions lose their power. Temptations lose their shine. Excuses lose their strength. When you win the morning, you walk into the world with momentum. You walk in with pressure already applied. You walk in with purpose burning through you, and everything you touch elevates. Your dreams need a disciplined version of you, not a sleepy one. Your goals need an intentional version of you, not a lazy one. Your future needs a committed version of you, not a comfortable one. And every single day, the moment you open your eyes, life gives you a choice. Are you going to show up like someone who deserves success? Or are you going to show up like everyone else? The difference between the person you are today and the person you want to be tomorrow is hidden in your morning habits. If your mornings are weak, your life will be weak. If your mornings are strong, your life will rise with them. So wake up with ownership. Wake up with ownership. Wake up with hunger. Wake up understanding that the world doesn't owe you anything. You owe yourself everything. Wake up knowing that your future depends on what you do right now, not later. Not tonight, not next week. You either take control of your morning or your morning controls you. And once you learn to dominate the first hour, the rest of your day unfolds with discipline, with intensity, with direction. That's why your mornings decide your future, because they decide who you become long before the world ever sees you. Speed isn't just about how fast you move. It's about how quickly you make decisions, how quickly you take action, how quickly you adjust when life throws something unexpected at you. People think being fast means rushing, but it's not about rushing. It's about eliminating hesitation. Eliminating hesitation. It's about cutting the delay between knowing what you need to do and actually doing it. That gap, that tiny space between the thought and the action, is where most people lose their entire potential. They think too much. They analyze too long. They overthink opportunities until the opportunity doesn't exist anymore. And while they're sitting there debating, someone else who moved faster already grabbed what they were dreaming about. Speed is not reckless. It's decisive. It's intentional. It's the ability to jump into motion while others are still warming up. In life, doors do not stay open forever. Some opportunities close permanently the moment you hesitate. And the truth is, most people don't fail because they lack intelligence or talent. They fail because they move too slow. They wait for the perfect time. They wait until they feel like it. They wait until they're ready. But here's the truth that successful people understand. You will never be completely ready. You will never have the perfect conditions. You will never have the exact moment that feels flawless. So instead of waiting for the perfect moment, you create it by acting. Speed is how you outrun your excuses. It's how you outpace fear. It's how you build momentum so strong that hesitation becomes a foreign language to you. When you train yourself to move fast, you stop giving doubt enough time to grow. Every time you hesitate, you give your mind room to talk you out of the things you know you need to do. The longer you wait, the heavier the task feels. The heavier it feels, the more resistance you build. And the more resistance you build, the more likely you are to quit before you even start. Speed breaks that cycle. Speed shocks your brain into action. It tells your emotions, I'm moving whether you agree or not. And once you begin, something powerful happens. Your energy rises, your confidence grows, and your momentum builds. You feel unstoppable. Suddenly, things that seemed impossible feel achievable simply because you started faster than your fear could react. Speed also protects you from the trap of perfection. Perfection kills progress because perfection demands endless planning, polishing, fixing, rethinking, all before anything even happens. But when you prioritize speed, you prioritize progress over perfection. You teach yourself to launch, then improve, to start messy, then refine, to learn by doing, not by dreaming. And that mindset is what separates people who talk from people who execute. Those who succeed are not always the smartest. They are the ones who act while everyone else is still thinking. They get ahead because they put themselves in motion before self-doubt could catch up. Life rewards movement. It rewards decisiveness. It rewards the person who raises their hand first, who steps forward first, who volunteers first, who applies first, who tries first. Because the faster you move, the more attempts you make. And the more attempts you make, the more chances you create for success. Slow people get fewer opportunities because they take fewer swings. Fast people generate momentum because they take action again and again and again. Even when they fail forward. They fail faster than others even attempt. And because they move quickly, they learn quickly. They grow quickly, they adapt quickly. Speed becomes a skill that multiplies every part of life. Think about your dreams. Think about the things you say you want. The better life, the better health, the better mindset, the better opportunities. All that requires speed because your goals will not wait for you to feel comfortable. Comfort is the enemy of speed. When you're comfortable, you move slow. When you're comfortable, you negotiate with action. When you're comfortable, you let your emotions decide your pace. But when you're hungry, truly hungry, you don't delay. You don't hesitate. You don't wait for someone to motivate you. You move fast because you understand that life does not pause for anyone. Speed also builds discipline. When you push yourself to act quickly, you control your impulses. You stop allowing laziness to dictate your behavior. You stop letting procrastination steal your future. You stop telling yourself a later because you know later is a trap. Later becomes never. Fast people don't live in the later, they live in the now. They move now, they start now, they decide now. And because of that, they build a mindset of urgency, a mindset that wins. Urgency is what transforms ideas into action, action into results, and results into transformation. Without urgency, your dreams stay dreams. With urgency, your dreams become decisions. The world is moving faster every day. Technology moves fast. Opportunities move fast. Markets move fast. Competition moves fast. If you remain slow, life will leave you behind. Not because you're unworthy, but because you're too hesitant to keep up. You cannot afford to move slowly in a world that rewards the bold, the decisive, the doers. That doesn't mean rushing blindly. It means stopping the useless delays. It means cutting the excuses. It means shortening the time between knowing and doing. That gap determines everything. Speed also transforms your identity. When you consistently act fast, you become someone who trusts themselves. You become someone who doesn't need to think for hours before making a choice. You become someone who doesn't fear mistakes because you know you can adjust quickly. Your identity shifts from I'll try to I'll do, from I don't know what to do, I'll figure it out, from I'm scared to I'm moving anyway. And that identity is powerful because the world respects people who act. Speed is not just movement, it is intention, it is discipline, it is commitment. It is the refusal to waste time, energy, or potential. It is understanding that hesitation is the enemy of greatness. When you choose speed, you choose progress. You choose growth. You choose results. You choose a version of yourself who stops waiting and starts winning. So move faster, act quicker. Respond sooner. Stop taking hours to make decisions that your future needs you to make now. Stop letting your dreams sit in a planning mode. Stop waiting for motivation, for signs, for certainty, for permission. Speed is how you turn your goals into reality. Not slowly, not someday, but now. Because the faster you move, the sooner your life transforms. That a positive mindset isn't something you wake up with by accident. It's something you build, something you protect, something you strengthen every single day. And the truth is, most people lose the battle before they even start because they allow negativity to control the narrative inside their heads. They let one bad moment ruin a whole day. They let one failure define their entire identity. They let one rejection convince them that they're not capable, not worthy, not enough. But a strong, positive mindset is not built by avoiding negativity. It's built by transforming it. It's built by learning how to speak to yourself when everything around you feels dark. It's built by training your mind to anchor itself to possibility instead of fear. And the people who rise in life are not the ones who never fall. They're the ones who refuse to let their thoughts drown there when they do. A strong, positive mindset doesn't start when life is peaceful. It starts when life hits you. It's easy to smile when things are working. It's easy to feel strong when everything is aligned. But real mindset strength is tested when things fall apart, when people betray you, when plans collapse, when nothing seems to go the way you imagine. This is where most people break. They start telling themselves stories that make the pain even heavier. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm not meant for this. Maybe this is a sign to quit. But that's not reality. That's your fear talking. A strong mindset learns how to identify the difference between a temporary moment and a permanent truth. It trains you to stop exaggerating your problems and start exaggerating your possibilities. It teaches you that what you tell yourself in the middle of the storm determines who you become after the storm. Every thought you accept becomes a seed in your mind. Negative seeds produce negative results. Positive seeds produce strength, confidence, and growth. And the problem with most people is that they plant more negative seeds than positive ones without even realizing it. They replay mistakes, relive failures, rehearse worries. They don't question their negative thoughts, they obey them. They treat their fear as if it's a fact. But a strong positive mindset challenges every negative thought. It questions every self-doubt. It refuses to accept the first emotion that rises. It says, I feel this, but I don't have to believe this. That one sentence gives you power. That one shift separates you from people who live their whole lives controlled by feelings they never learn to challenge. A strong positive mindset is built through habits, not emotions. You cannot expect to think powerfully if you're feeding your mind garbage every day. If you spend your time around negative people, consuming negative content, speaking negative language, your mind has no choice but to build negative patterns. But when you intentionally choose what you expose yourself to, the people, the words, the energy, the environments, your mind begins to shape itself around strength instead of limits. Your thoughts become cleaner, your emotions become clearer, your decisions become stronger. A powerful mindset isn't built by accident, it's built by design. You must curate what enters your mind the same way you would protect your home. You don't let anything in that can destroy the peace inside. But building a strong, positive mindset doesn't mean ignoring reality. It doesn't mean pretending everything is perfect. It doesn't mean smiling when you're hurting. Real positivity is not fake. Real positivity is responsibility. It means acknowledging the pain, but choosing a better response. It means seeing the obstacle, but choosing to focus on the solution. It means falling, but choosing to get back up with purpose. You don't deny the challenge. You dominate it. You don't escape problems. You face them with clarity. Fake positivity says everything is fine, even when it's not. Real positivity says everything is not fine, but I am capable of handling it. That mindset turns pressure into power. A strong, positive mindset is also built by controlling your inner voice. That voice you hear when no one is around, that's the voice that determines your destiny. If your inner voice speaks like an enemy, your life will feel like a battle. But if your inner voice speaks like a coach, your life becomes a mission. Your inner voice must become your biggest source of strength, not your biggest source of stress. You must teach it to speak with conviction, discipline, and courage. Your inner voice must remind you of who you are becoming, not who you used to be. If your mind still speaks in the language of your past, you will never unlock your future. So you train your inner voice every single day through affirmations, through gratitude, through journaling, through self-awareness. You make it louder than fear, louder than doubt, louder than insecurity. Another part of building a strong, positive mindset is learning how to reinterpret failure. Most people take failure personally. They think failing means they're not good enough. But failure is feedback. Failure is information. Failure is the universe showing you what to adjust, not who you are. When you see failure as a message instead of an identity, you become unstoppable. You no longer fear trying. You no longer fear losing. You no longer fear being embarrassed. A strong, positive mindset gives you resilience, the ability to bounce back faster than you fail. And that alone is a superpower. Some people get knocked down and stay there for months. People with powerful mindsets get back up in seconds because they refuse to let the fall define. Consistency is another key to developing a powerful mindset. You cannot think positively once and expect results. You must practice it daily. You must reprogram years of doubt, fear, and insecurity. You must break old thought patterns and build new ones. And that takes repetition. That takes patience. That takes commitment. But over time, something incredible happens. Your default mindset becomes stronger. Your first reaction becomes healthier. Instead of panicking, you analyze. Instead of complaining, you strategize. Instead of giving up, you adapt. You stop thinking like a victim and start thinking like a creator. That shift changes your entire life. A strong, positive mindset also transforms your identity. When you repeatedly choose strength over fear, clarity over chaos, action over hesitation, you start to see yourself as capable. You start to believe in your ability to figure things out. You stop questioning your worth. Your confidence becomes rooted in reality. Not in compliments, not in achievements, but in the proof of how many times you faced difficulty and still kept going. Confidence built from struggle is unbreakable. And that's what a powerful mindset creates. Internal strength that no one can take from you. Finally, building a strong, positive mindset is a lifetime journey. You don't reach a point where you stop working on. Life will always test you. New levels will bring new pressures. Bigger goals will bring bigger challenges. But the stronger your mindset becomes, the more life you can handle. And eventually, you stop being afraid of challenges and start being grateful for them. Because you know every challenge is a chance to prove who you really are. A strong, positive mindset is the foundation of every dream, every success, every transformation. Without it, nothing works. With it, everything becomes possible. And the beautiful part is this. You can build it, you can strengthen it. You can become the type of person whose mind is unshakable, whose spirit is unbreakable, and whose life reflects the power they built inside. When it all comes down to it, this entire message, this entire reminder, this entire fire inside your chest leads to one undeniable truth. Your life will not change until you do. And the reason this conclusion hits so hard is because deep down you already know it. No, you already know you've been sleeping on your own potential. You already know you've been moving slow while your dreams are running fast. You already know there are mornings you could have gotten up earlier, nights you could have pushed a little longer, opportunities you could have taken instead of hesitating. But this is where everything shifts. This is the moment where you stop being the person who talks about change and finally become the person who creates it. Because what you're chasing isn't just success. It isn't just money. It isn't just a goal you write down on a random January night. What you're chasing is the version of yourself you've always felt inside. The one you're proud of, the one you respect, the one you've been pretending you don't see because it intimidates you. That stronger, sharper, more disciplined version of you is standing on the other side of the grind, waiting for you to catch up. And here's the truth. You can't meet that version of yourself casually. You can't meet him with excuses. You can't meet him by trying. You only meet him by deciding that no matter what happens, no matter the pain, the exhaustion, the distractions, the setbacks, you will show up anyway. The world doesn't hand out greatness. It doesn't look at your potential and reward you for thinking about it. It rewards the ones who grind when they're tired, who push when they're overlooked, who stay committed when their emotions are screaming for them to quit. And that's why this moment matters. Because if you decide right now that your grind will be louder, your excuses, everything changes. Not next week, not next year, not a someday. Right now, right here, in this exact moment where you decide to stop being average in a world where average is the easiest thing to be. Your audience needs to feel this truth. The grind is not punishment, it is privilege. It is the bridge between who you are and who you're becoming. It is proof that you're not done, proof that you still have fire in you, proof that you're not here just to survive, you're here to rise. And when they hear that in your voice, when they feel that energy, when they understand that you're speaking to the part of them that refuses to die, they will stay with you until the last second. Because this isn't just motivation, it's a wake-up call. It's a reminder that the clock is ticking whether they move or stay still. And the only thing worse than failing is waking up 10 years from now, realizing you never even tried. So let this conclusion hit with weight. Wake up, stand up, lock in, grind like the future you want is watching you, because it is. Grind like the strongest version of you is waiting to see if you're worthy, because he is. Grind like you don't have a second life to waste, because you don't. You got one shot at this, one life, one purpose. And if you're brave enough to go all in, you'll shock yourself with how far you can go. Now get up, get focused, and grind like everything you want depends on what you do next, because it does.